All right, everyone, it's 12:35. We want to get started. I've asked Jimmy Colley to, if everyone will stand, I've asked Jimmy Colley to lead us in a prayer, opening prayer, and then for John Smith to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, Lord, we thank you for this time today, God. We gather here today to glorify you and magnify you, Lord. I just ask today as we enter into this council meeting, God, that you'll lead our council, God, in every decision they make, our mayor and all the elected officials, God, that everything will be to bring you glory and honor and praise in all that we do. And Lord, it'll benefit our city in every decision. We thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, gentlemen. And seeing as we have a quorum, I want to call this meeting to order. It is December 2nd, 2025. First order of business is the approval of minutes from the November 18th, 2025 regular council meeting. How does the council propose to do that? Okay, motion by Mike, second by Bo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, mayor's report.
Okay. I was notified today that we got our last piece of equipment for our police radios. Hopefully that will get put in, and our new radios should be online by mid-January. Is that right, David? That's unless there's any issues that we come across. Hopefully by mid-January our new radios will be in place, and we'll have a new radio system in our police department. So we're excited about that. We'd like to mention to everybody that our Christmas in the Park is Friday, December the 12th. That's at 4:30, Christmas in the Park. And then the parade immediately follows that the Chamber of Commerce sponsors at 6 o'clock. So I think everybody knows it starts at 18th Street there out of the VFW and goes to 3rd Street. They get to go on a new paved highway this year, first time. And the folks get to stand on new sidewalks to watch the parade. So it should be a really, really good Christmas parade this year. So we're excited, and make sure you come out for that. Also, Main Street is doing a promotion this weekend. I believe those dates are the 5th, 6th, and 7th, or 4th, 5th, and 6th. But it's the Shop Hop Passport program. What days are those, Connie? 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can purchase a Shop Hop Passport in one of the following locations. That's Catherine's Freeman, Alice Circle, Tiger Lily, or the Fort Payne Main Street office while they last. I think there were only a certain number of those printed. There is you take it to 12 locations, get it stamped. There's 17 different locations that you can take it to, but if you take it to 12 locations and get it stamped, you should get a free gift from that location, and leave your passport at the last location that you shop at. This is a way to promote shopping local and shopping downtown. I think there's 7 or 8 restaurants on there, and if you get 4 restaurants to stamp it, then you turn it in, and there'll be a drawing. First place is for $1,000 Main Street cash, sponsored by the Southern Torch. Second place is a $750 gift basket, sponsored by one of the host businesses. And third place is $500 in Main Street money, sponsored by Main Street. So this is a good way to get out and shop local and promote our downtown here in this Christmas season. Also, Todd had mentioned earlier in the work session about we're having an ALDOT meeting on probably the 11th or 12th at some point. with another stakeholders meeting on this feasibility study that we went through, that we got the money from Robert Adderholt to do this feasibility study. So that next meeting will be either the 11th or the 12th of December. And also wanted to tell you, council, the ones that I have not talked to, I goofed, and this is strictly my fault. I forgot to put this on or give it to Brandy to put on the agenda, so it's not her mistake, it's my mistake. But this is a special request, or a request for it's called a religious procession for the Catholic Church. David and Lee and myself met with the Father Jonathan Howell at the Catholic Church, and so we'll need to take a look at this. It's December the 13th. They're going to do a little kind of a parade that'll go down up 30th Street north and down Alabama Avenue, back down 35th Street, back on Galt to the church. So David has signed off on it, and so that is something that was not originally on the agenda. So, and I apologize for that. And that's all I've got.
And we need to vote to approve that due to the timing.
Yes, because it is before the next council meeting,
That date is
December 13th.
December 13th.
It's the Saturday morning after the parade. So,
What is the pleasure of the council?
So moved to approve.
Motion by
Second.
John to approve, and Bo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so carried.
okay, thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I've got,
Okay,
President.
thank you. So next on the agenda is a proposed ordinance 2025-13 regarding fowl at large, FOWL. Let's clarify. So we have an ordinance in place that it's been typed up with the help of Chad Hopper and Brandy. Thank you for doing that and working on that. And also local law enforcement and our code enforcement officers. So what's the pleasure of the council regarding this ordinance?
Some of this is already existing. I think this just further defines what we're doing now, right, Chad?
Yes, sir. Some of it is just further explanation of what's already in existence.
This is something that has actually been worked on for quite some time. We've talked about it, and the ordinance officers have looked at it, and the previous attorney had drew some stuff up. We sent all that stuff to Chad, and he looked at everything and put this here together for us. So,
And Mr. Smith, the section that is being replaced is 6-24, and it states that on the first page. So what's happening is, if the council approves, 6-24 will be deleted, and there's a new 6-24. So there won't be any duplication. It's just going to be a completely new 6-24.
Okay.
So the new 624 replaces the old one, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
So to vote on this today, we'll need to waive the rules, or we can have a public input next work session, well, I mean, next council meeting. So wherever y'all had rather want to do. I think as much as the problems we've experienced in the past, I'd like to go ahead and move with it and vote on it today. But I'm good either way, whatever y'all want to do. To waive the rule, the first reading rule.
Okay. All right, we have a motion to waive the rule and go ahead and vote on this today. So all those in favor of that?
At the roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call on this. So Mike Grant? Aye. Bo?
Aye.
John? Aye. And myself, aye. All right, that carried, and
I make a move, we adopt ordinance 2025-13.
okay, have a motion from John to approve the ordinance 2025-13 as presented. Do we have a second? Second by Mike Grant. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so carries. Next item is ordinance 2025-14. This is regarding intentional feeding of black bears. So yes, we're here. If you thought we would be there 20 years ago,
Well, we've had a lot of complaints for the bear territory areas right now of certain neighbors have seen neighbors feeding and luring the bears in, you know. Now, there's a second issue that we need to talk about that won't be in this ordinance is bear-proof trash cans. Who's gonna pay for them? Who needs them? I think all those questions need to be put in the committee, sanitation committee. This is strictly the intentional luring of bears and how to define that. And you proving it, you know, you're gonna have somebody's gonna have to video somebody. You know? I mean, it's kind of contingent on what the neighborhood tolerate with.
at least there's an ordinance
This gives
in
us an
place.
ordinance of something to go by that strictly prohibits, you know, putting out whatever they want to eat just to get them in your yard.
We don't currently have anything.
We don't have anything, and I think, Chad, you've got some of this stuff from Gatlinburg and some bear watching stuff, places like that. And it's pretty standard for those areas that have bear problems.
Yes, sir, it is. The only other thing I did see is what you just said is restrictions on the type of trash can. That's something we'll take up at a later date.
Any other discussion?
Discussion?
No, I think it's good. I think it makes sense. It's a new challenge we're going to face.
Yeah, we had the Bear Wise people come to a couple of council meetings, and the one thing that I can remember them saying is, you know, they're here to stay, and we just got to learn how to adapt and live with them. So I think it's a trial process.
And it gives the authorities something to work with an ordinance, and there's penalties. Section 627C, a violation of this section shall also be subject to a fine of up to $500, court costs, and incarceration in city jail for up to 6 months. So,
Motion to waive the rules if you want to do it today.
I don't feel like we have to rush if we don't want to. I mean, we did the last one, and I guess I'm okay either way if we put it on the next agenda or if we do it today.
You know, you're gonna have, I don't know what the public would come and talk about. You know.
Somebody's feeding bears and wants to keep feeding bears.
Yeah, that's right, wants to see the bears.
I'd make a motion to waive the rules and go ahead forward with ordinance number 2025-14.
motion by Mike Grant,
I'll second.
a second by John. So roll call, Mike, how do you, vote?
Aye.
Aye. So it carries. And so we need to entertain a motion to approve this ordinance, 2025-14.
So moved.
Second.
Get those, Brandy? Okay, all right. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, carries. All right, continuing with business. So this is in the new business section, but we had a discussion we brought up in the November 18th council work session about a lobbyist, the city lobbyist that we are paying to lobby on our behalf for certain grants and things in Washington. We are continuing that discussion today, and we have got new information. So Grant Ledbetter helped us research the contract that was in place for this position, and I understand there's a 60-day notice if terminated, correct?
Actually, Mayor had the contract. I believe
Okay.
it was 60 days.
Yes, 60 days, I believe that. I sent that to Chad.
Okay,
I actually have her December bill. I got her December bill this morning, so, you know, one way or the other, we just need to know.
correct. Which we would pay December anyway. This would be effective basically February
Correct, yeah.
1st. Thereabouts. All right, so, discussion.
We can always go back and pick her or somebody else up later if we get financially able and think it's to our advantage. So I'm gonna go with terminating.
Okay.
Yeah, my personal opinion.
You want me to discuss what we talked about as far as the information?
If you feel led, go ahead.
To a point, I agree with John. I mean, and this is all about economics. I mean, it's, you know, we're having to watch the purse so close. It's absolutely nothing towards the lobbyist or the job they're doing. Purely economics. But in the last couple of days, I'd asked Chief Davis to get me some stuff, and he got it. If I can find it right quick. About what has happened, what they've done for basically the police department in the last several years. I'm just going to read some of this and make it simpler, so I hope David's punctuation's right. But she was helpful in getting $670,000 in appropriation through assisting through Tuberville's office, grant money that we had for a COPS grant, and the piles of COPS grant means we hire, in this case, 2 officers, and they pay the salaries for the first 3 years. It's under a federal grant after that, and that gives us time to get them hired, chief get them through the academy, all that stuff, and then kind of get them trained, see if they're going to work out or not. And it takes that expense off them in the city during that process, where if they happen not to work out, it's kind of like a no harm, no foul, other than we lost the time. But anyway, COPS grant of $170,000 for the 2 officers. We were awarded $150,000 offset the cost of video wall in the video room at the police department. And it's a huge wall, and it's, you know, well worth the money that's there. Another $50,000 grant was used to buy radios, and that's to assist in this last radio project. And part of that was also, you said you enabled the fire department to share into that, so they've benefited in that also. Now, Chief Smith, you did apply for another grant of something that we did not get. How much was it for?
We've put in for AFG several times. The last one, I believe, was for 600,000.
We did not get that one.
Not that we know of
Been
yet.
turned down several times.
And so, and he summarizes, in the last 4 years, basically, we've got 1.2 million. I don't know how you put the 10 on there, but, and that's information he got. I talked to Chief Smith briefly and Wade Corum this morning, and they conveyed that she's applied for some stuff, but we haven't got it through them. So that's the other information I have.
We're not abandoning this whole grant system. We're still gonna keep a grant writer working with Grant Ledbetter. So we're not just cold turkey ending everything. We're still gonna have someone searching grants and writing.
Also, on that note, we talked to another entity this week, me, Todd, and the mayor. He does some grant work for the water department here also. We're looking at possibly using him some also, but the way the grants work, the ones he writes, he can be paid. If he gets it, his pay kind of comes off the top or off the back end. It's like a commission. Some of the stuff that these grant writers do cannot pay that way. It's illegal. It doesn't, you know, the federal changes it. So just in disclosure that, you know, we're looking at all available possibilities, nothing to do with any person in particular. It's just strictly economics.
Are y'all proposing to get rid of the grant writer too and go with this local person? Is that?
The only one we're discussing today is just the lobbyist position.
Just summarizing our week, kind of.
On the 1.2 million, Chief, that they've been able to secure for the city or for that department. Do we know what the matching grant that Fort Payne had to pay is?
20% on everything except for the 670 for the radios. There was no match on that one. Yeah.
120,000, if there were no match on the 6.
Except for the hiring grant's a little bit weird since it's 20% per year, so it's like, you know, so it's not over yet, you know. We haven't paid our full portion.
We in 2 years, or I think we got
We're-
one more year left on
Yeah,
that.
right, we're in the
Left on it.
second year currently.
I think the public would like to hear, what can our grant writer obtain for us that the lobbyists couldn't? You know, are we able to still get some of these? Go ahead, Chief.
Can I say something?
Yes.
We're just gonna have a discussion, and, John's, brought this up a couple times. Some of it's gonna be talked about this next section, about some traffic issues we've been having. And there's certain areas we're gonna have to be creative. We're creative sometimes, meaning we're gonna have to find some money. And grants don't cover everything. Grants are usually specific for certain things. And one thing that I was wanting to look at is maybe seeing if we can get some appropriations money to help with different type of aids in the Alabama Avenue, the Forest Avenue, the Grand Avenues, issues that we've been having. We're gonna have to be a little creative when we try to help control some of this speed. You know, I put my guys out there, I do, and they're working. I had one talk to one the other day, and he said, you know, we're not seeing what I'm telling them. I'm not saying people is not speeding through there. That's not what we're saying, but, you know, I was having a discussion today with somebody. There's apps out there that if you're a member of, and they're easy, it's called a wave app, that they'll let you know, hey, there's a police officer a mile down the road. So we're gonna have to be creative in helping offset some of these traffic issues. And that was one thing that I was hoping maybe that the lobbyists might help us do, is find some money that grants not gonna cover. Grants are, like I said, they're specific, that's the issue. And the radios, you know, the fire department they applied twice for grants and got turned down both times. We were able to secure not grant money, but the money from an appropriations. So and I'm not advocating for a particular person, I'm just telling you what it's benefited the police department, in the last 4 years, and what I can see could help maybe benefit, not the police department, but the public going forward, is taking care of some of these other areas. That's my only thing about it. And like I said, I know y'all got a tough decision making, I'm not up there to make it. But that's what has been helpful and beneficial to us in the last, I believe, 4 years. I think they've been with us 4 years now, Mayor? Yes. John, if that's right, 4, and, I mean, for us, that's a lot of money for the police department. And I can't speak for these other departments, I don't know what all they've got. I can just speak for my department.
In our meeting with Shannon, we had a work session on a Thursday. I don't have the date on mine, but we had a meeting with Shannon, and in her words, there were no federal appropriations paid out in 2025, and it is not looking good for 2026. So this comes for me, I'll speak, this comes for me down to a financial decision that as a council we need to make for 2026, and it could be entertained again in 2027, end of 2020 budget season. So for my sake, I would be for still eliminating the lobbyist position and keeping the grant writer as of now. Any other comments?
Todd, do we want to mention anything about some type of negotiations?
Thank you. So, yes, Bo, to your point, Shannon did respond back to us. Mayor reached out after our last work session and just give her a heads up that that the council is discussing this. And she did reply back, which I appreciate her response in getting back to us. And she did make an offer to provide the same level of service for this next calendar year at $48,000. Instead of the $90,000 that it is currently. And just for full transparency, so the lobbyist is paid $90,000 annually, the grant writer is paid $78,000 annually. So you have those numbers. She was willing to reduce her rate from $90,000 to $48,000 in order for us to retain her for this next year. Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that was, if we wanted to bring it up, it was brought up now.
To discuss.
To me, that changes the math. I really don't know where I'll land on this overall. I know what I said last time was, if you're not giving them work to do or things to go seek out, it's like buying a lotto ticket. But if we already have, if Chief Davis has ideas and we're proactively coming to them with our challenges and she's helping us and she's doing it at half the cost, I think that's a totally different scenario than what we talked about last time.
To the department heads, is anybody else benefited in the last year or so?
Tim currently has a red light grant. This has, lobbyist also has a hand in grants as well. She gets letters of support from federal, delegation, and Tim currently has a pretty large red light grant on the table that has not been approved or denied yet.
Nicole's involved in it.
Right, yeah. No, Nicole wrote the
No.
grant, or, well, actually Gresham
Yes,
Smith wrote it.
Nicole's not involved in that actual
Didn't write
grant.
that one?
That came from,
Gresham.
had to have a engineer to do that grant.
We've got some grants out that right now that's sitting in ourselves.
Right.
Any other discussion before we vote? All right, so what's on the table is we continued discussion on the position of the lobbyist, and the vote would be, we need to entertain a motion. How does the council choose to proceed?
Make a motion, we drop the contract for 2025,
2026?
2026, yeah.
Okay. All right,
We'll go back and look at it later when funds are available again.
we have a second. Second by Mike Grant. And is this roll call or is this? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, all right, so the that motion carries, so we will not have the lobbyist for the year 2026.
President, can we put a caveat on there that we will revisit first of 2027?
We can revisit it tomorrow as far as.
Yeah, we can't put a caveat on it. That was a vote,
Purely
but
economic, so
yes, I would say at any time we could
Anytime we can
revisit
go,
that.
yeah.
All right, and then also, there's a request for speed hump on Railroad Avenue Southeast and possibly lowering the speed limit. And then after this came out, so John had a point about possible speed hump or something on Alabama Avenue, to your point, the speeding going on. I can't make a motion, but my thought on this is, I like the committees we have in place. We've got committees that are tasked to work with, like I'm working with Michael, and all these guys. So I like the committee. My thought would be that the committee that is working directly with these things, get with these departments and decide what's best and bring it back to the council. Is any other thought or comment on that?
No, that's good.
And which committees are we talking about?
The
that
police
would-
committee will be taking care of this.
Just police, so this wouldn't involve?
Well, it will involve
Public
public
Works.
works if we
Public
go
Works.
with the speed bump. And things
I would
that.
like to make just a statement on the Railroad Avenue. This is something that we discussed back in February, I believe it was, of this year. And we had talked about one way in that street out of, coming out of Food City. David and I went down and looked at it. I've had multiple calls of the speed on that, people just getting in there and just speeding down through there because they can get out quicker. So he and I both feel that if we put the speed humps in there, that will slow down the traffic. And then see if we need to one-way it, not do both right now, because I don't know, Chief, if you want to speak to that as far as if we one-wayed it.
I've gotten a couple of calls of concern about the one-way, and the biggest concern is if, the way we were talking about it, would you be leaving Food City going north to 8th Street one-way? The problem with that is big trucks. If for some reason a big truck is back here, making that turn onto 8th Street, because there's a power pole right there. When I mean right there, it's right on the side of the road. So there's a concern about that. And that was a couple of concerns brought to me. And really and truly, the only cause that I have heard, and I believe I talked to the mayor earlier, he heard right now is the speeding. So I would recommend, I would ask that approve the speed, approve this. Let us work about this other stuff in our communities. Go ahead and approve in this. Let's just, do it in cycles. Let's do this, see if this controls the issues. If we don't, we can address it again. And then also the difference in this and what y'all been seeing, I requested, and I believe, we're gonna try to get some pricing, but I request instead of the street department doing the paving, do kind of what you see in Food City now. They're the ones that you can actually put down to sell. I believe they would be, in this situation, a little bit better, for us.
Talked about widening that, and there's no way to widen that.
It was looked at.
We can't do
I
it.
think there was, some major,
Yeah,
concerns
major.
about the property beside it.
Yeah.
That was initially in an alleyway.
The utilities was gonna cost about $250,000
Yeah, there's no way we can do that.
before you do construction.
Yeah.
Jim, what's the, give
What
us
is the
a
speed
quick thing about
What
the
is the
difference
speed limit?
behind
Now,
a hump and a bump? Whatever.
It go, but, the difference, what we're talking about, a speed hump has to be 30 miles per hour or less, and they're the smaller ones that are made out of rubber. And the good thing about those is they can be moved to a different location if you decide. The speed table has to be 24 feet long, 20 foot flat on the top. So they're a lot bigger issue. They're about twice the cost is what we found these others for. So
I'd get the
they're
ones that
not
are movable.
movable, and the speed limit has to be below 45 for the speed table, but it has to be 30 or less for the speed hump. And the
But Chief,
speed
you want the
bump-
speed limit?
Y'all recommend the speed limit being 15, and let's put the humps in.
But the way it is now, it's gonna be technically 35, so the speed limit has to be changed anyway.
Yeah, but that was initially an alleyway, and I don't know what year, but the city eventually, adopted it as
Over.
a city street, so, and as far as I know, we couldn't find anything that said there was a specific speed limit set for that section through there.
If you recommend 15, let's just set it at 15 today.
As far as the hump, are you talking about one at each end, or each end in the middle? What we're talking about?
I first thought 4, maybe look at 3, and just
What do you see?
the way it's spaced out. There's about 3 good areas that splits, driveways. One area, there's a power pole.
I've ordered 2, but I can order 2
Well,
more,
I mean,
or one more.
Here's the deal, we can start with 2. And if we still look to see there's a problem, we can always add. I'm flexible on that.
What's the price?
These are $400 a piece,
Oh.
where the, speed table is about $1,200-$1,400.
So we could put 3 humps.
3 for price of 1.
That's right.
So
Let's just make a motion to set the speed limit at 15 miles an hour on his recommendation, chief's recommendation, and you've already got the humps ordered.
Yeah, they should be here tomorrow, so if y'all,
Yeah.
And then and then let's just see what happens. We may have to revisit it, but the concern about the one-way is the turn. And, right now, everybody's over in that area, it wouldn't be a problem, but who's to say a business may build tomorrow that it could cause issues down the road.
but these are gonna be more versatile if we decide to move them elsewhere. The speed table is not.
Pick
an
'em
option.
up.
Right.
make a motion to do the 15 speed limit and put in 3.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Mike Grant, second by John Smith. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right.
We'll move the other issues to police committee.
Police Committee. Thank you. All right. Any further business? I don't know of any on the agenda, so with no further business, need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Bo, second by Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you for attending today.